I've had a couple of experiences over the years that I can't fully explain. I'm curious whether anyone here has experienced something similar or has any insights. //1 Brief out-of-body experience as a child / when I was about 6 years old. I was playing near the shore at the beach. I was small, and a large wave hit me with enough force that I started tumbling underwater. I remember my first thought being, wow, this wave is taking me, and I have no control over it. Immediately, I experienced what I could only describe as being outside my body. I could see myself from a third-person perspective tumbling in the wave. The experience only lasted a couple of seconds before the wave broke on shore, and I was completely fine. The moment I was safe, I was back in my body. I've always wondered whether this was simply my brain's response to a frightening situation or whether others have experienced something similar. //2 A dream about my deceased pet fish that seemed connected to what happened to me. Later in the day /years later in high school, I had a dream that really stood out because I almost never remember my dreams. I took a nap, and in the middle of whatever I had been dreaming, I felt like radio static interruption of my dream. I saw a pet fish that I'd owned for several years swimming in a circle from a bird's eye view. After completing one circle, it continued swimming, but this time a baby fish identical to it appeared next to it swimming besides it. I woke up after they finished the circle. I went downstairs to check my aquarium. I noticed tiny black specks floating around. When I looked closer, the specks looked like tadpoles. For a moment, I actually wondered if a frog had somehow gotten inside and laid eggs. Then I noticed one of my newer fish laying on a plant, breathing heavily and looking unusually flat. Ironically, the day before I decided I was going to return that fish because it had been chasing the others during feeding, and I assumed it was just unusually aggressive and territorial. I had also noticed it getting much larger, but believed it was due to overfeeding. Due to prior attempts of unsuccessfully trying to breed fish years earlier, pregnancy honestly never crossed my mind. It turned out those tadpoles were actually baby fish. Looking back, the dream felt oddly symbolic, or perhaps coincidental, but I've never forgotten it. //3 Dreaming about an examiner before unexpectedly being assigned to him // Recently, I was scheduled for an important practical exam with one examiner. About a month beforehand, I had a dream that I was taking the exam with a completely different examiner, someone I had only met briefly before. In the dream, he was smiling, laughing, and seemed very relaxed throughout the bleep exam. When I woke up, I remember thinking, well, that's interesting. I'm kind of glad I don't actually have him because of her. He's a tough examiner. A month later, due to unforeseen circumstances and scheduling changes, my original exam was cancelled. I ended up being reassigned to the exact examiner from my dream. What struck me wasn't just that I got him. It was that his demeanor matched the dream almost perfectly. I'd heard from several people that he was serious, intense, and could be intimidating because of how deeply he gets into scenario-based questioning. Instead, throughout my exam, he was smiling, laughing, and came across exactly as he had in the dream. I don't claim to be psych or a medium. These could all be coincidences, selective memory, or something about how the brain processes information that I don't understand. I'm curious what others think. Have you ever experienced dreams that later seemed connected to real events, brief out-of-body experiences, or other experiences that were meaningful to you? How do you interpret them? I would appreciate any insights. Thank you.